friends, this is the Cryptonian taking a look at whether Solana or BTC is the better hold, the better investment. Now, there are a lot of debates out there. I see a lot of Twitter X posts. Some are saying that Solana is better. Some are saying that BTC is better. The reality is that the picture changes over time, right? And so to put this debate into perspective, we need to go all the way back and look at the cycles between Solana and Bitcoin. So when Solana first came out, obviously it outperformed Bitcoin, right? And then it went into a period where it underperformed. And then it went into a period back in 2020, right around June of 2020 is when it started to outperform Bitcoin. And then right at about September of 2020 was the time that you wanted to be out of Solana and into Bitcoin where it outperformed. Okay? When we take a look at these cycles, you can see that there are periods of time where Solana, if you were to hold Solana, for example, here, you would be losing against BTC, right? And so it would have been better to be in stable coins at this time, right? So that being said, when we take a look as the cycles progress, you can see again in 2021, at the beginning of 2021, when we had that massive bull run, it was better to be in Solana, because over time you would have outperformed all the way until May of 2021, right? And then of course it went through a period of sideways consolidation, or should I say like a flat period, where sometimes it was better to hold Bitcoin and sometimes it was better to hold Solana. But the reality is neither one during this time really outperformed the other. It was just kind of a sideways flat type of a trend. And then again, of course, in August of 2021, it was better to hold Solana until you reached to the point of September 2021, and then that would have been the period of time to hold Bitcoin. Okay, and then ever since 2021, it would have been better to be in Bitcoin from here, because Solana has been constantly in a downtrend and losing against Bitcoin. Now, what's interesting is what we're seeing now. Coming into 2022, yes, there were periods of time when Solana was outperforming Bitcoin. However, you can see that over the long term, if you just wanted to hold one or the other, long term, Bitcoin during this time would have been the better investment, or the better, I would say, well, I wouldn't say better investment, because investment implies making money. This would have been the better hold, right? In reality, it's probably during this time, during the bear market, where you didn't want to hold either of them. It would have been better to be in stable coins, right? So anyway, that being said, look at where we are now. You can see that the pattern has just recently changed. The pattern has just recently changed. Here, and just in this year alone, you can see that we had a big dump here, and this is when Solana went, oh, I don't know what, to $9, something like that. And then it had a big pump where Solana had the upper hand. It was better to hold Solana from July of 2020, I'm sorry, from June of 2023, June of this year, up until July, okay, mid-July. Now, something interesting takes place. Something interesting has taken place, and this is why it explains. So this is why Solana is doing so well. Look at this. We have had a shift in the long-term trend of Solana versus BTC. You can see here we had a pump, we came down, higher low, lower high, and then a lower low. We had a pump, we took out the prior high, and then we made right here, look at this. Here we almost made a double bottom, very close. So I would say that it was better to hold Solana since June of this year. Since June of this year, it has gone up, outperformed, making a higher low, and then, of course, skyrocketing recently. So the reality is, if you're a trader, a swing trader, then you can take advantage of these periods of time when Solana is doing better than Bitcoin. Holding on to Solana, moving your Bitcoin into Solana during these periods of time where it outperforms, you're going to give additional gains to your portfolio. That being said, if you just want to hold, that's something different. So what about now? Every time Solana is pumping against Bitcoin, doing well, the narrative and the debate starts to occur again. Well, I'll tell you right now, what we saw last time when we shifted from the dominance of Solana to the dominance of Bitcoin, we saw these lines. We saw here on these peaks here, we see these lines where it's heavily being sold. And that's what we're seeing now, right here. Actually, we're seeing big time selling here, excuse me, at this time, which means people are leaving Solana and going into Bitcoin or something else, right? So at this time, it's probably better to be in Bitcoin. However, the longer trend, if you're a swing trader, if you're taking advantage of these short periods of change, then it's better to be in Bitcoin right now, changing over to Bitcoin, or maybe even a stable coin, because Bitcoin looks like it may pull back here. But that being said, once we have this correction on this chart complete, like right here during this sideways time, it's going to be better to be in Solana, because Solana just made a higher low, and the major trend you can see here is changing. Solana just made a higher high. Let me see, where's the body of the candle? Let's measure this real quick. So here is the body top, and yeah, so we just had a breakout, barely. Yeah, so that's barely a breakout. So this could be the start of Solana outperforming Bitcoin going into the bull run. So this is very interesting. So I just wanted to put this out there. Wanted to show you this comparison on the chart, and how you have different periods of time. You have short periods of time where Solana outperforms Bitcoin, and then you have other periods of time where Bitcoin outperforms Solana. But it looks like, it appears, when you look at it this way, that we could have had a shift in the macro long-term trend here, where it looks like Solana could outperform Bitcoin in the long run. And so this means going into 2024, Solana would be a better hold than Bitcoin if this trend continues. Because right here you have a bottom, and then you have another bottom. You have two lows that are right next to each other. This is called a double bottom, and this shows the shift of momentum from one to the other. And then you have a higher low here. and this is what created a slightly, just by a hair, higher high. But we need to understand that a higher low and a higher high is an uptrend. So for the short term, right now, for the short term, it's better to be changing from selling your Solana and going into Bitcoin, or maybe even stable coins at this point, because the market is so overheated. And then later get back into it after the market cools off a bit. But yeah, this is very interesting. I'm going to keep track of this. Again, this is not investment advice, but the hold going into 2024 could be Solana over Bitcoin. Now, remember, past results does not guarantee future results. And I do expect over the short term Bitcoin to outperform Solana, because you just had a nice pump here, and then you had a nice pump here, and then in between these pumps you can see that Bitcoin does outperform Solana for a period of time. So I do believe that right now it's better to be in Bitcoin for that period where it cools off, and then it goes into another pump to the upside. But again, if you're just a long-term holder and you don't want to be bothered with changing from one to the other, then I would say it's better to be in Bitcoin right now. But as soon as Solana, as soon as this chart kind of cools off and starts to move up again, it's better to be in Solana. So right now Bitcoin, but a little bit of time from now, probably going into 2024, maybe the end of the year 2024, it's probably going to go like this, and then it's going to be better to be in Bitcoin at that time, or excuse me, Solana at that time, right? So I think going into 2024, it's probably going to be Solana. Solana is probably going to outperform Bitcoin. So there you have it, friends. I hope this is helpful. I hope this is interesting. My purpose of making this video is to help you think in different ways, creatively, to enhance and improve the performance of your portfolio. And of course, I hold Solana, so I'm just letting you know. But again, this is not investment advice. I'm a long-term holder, and I do not jump in between. I do not swing trade. I do not jump in between these coins, just to let you know. I'm more of a long-term lazy trader, or should I say investor. I'm not a trader. I'm an investor. But I am working on some programs that will take advantage of short-term fluctuations. So anyway, friends, thank you for your time. I appreciate your time, and please click like on this video if you find that this was educational or interesting, or maybe even just entertaining, or maybe whatever. But if you click the like, it really helps the channel. We're just getting started. And once again, thank you for your time, and we will see you in the next video. Take care.